Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. We got to get there. So hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share because this stupidity, this lunacy, it's not stopping. Now, look, as we enter day 3 of the shutdown, Democrats finally are doing some media appearances, trying to prove to the American people that Trump and his pundits are wrong and that the shutdown is the GOP's fault. My co-host on Political Beatdown, Ben Meiselas, he actually interviewed Hakeem Jeffries on the Midas Touch Network. And while you know that I'm often critical of Jeffries, not a big fan at all, I do think that they actually had a pretty good conversation. Ben goes on and he asks Jeffries if he wants to meet with Trump and his lackeys in public. Imagine that. Trump and Hakeem Jeffries meeting in public in front of the press, and the goal to solve the government shutdown. Imagine how good that would be. Play the clip.
Are you willing to meet with Vice President J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, and Senate Majority Leader Thune in public before the press at the Capitol building tomorrow? Are you willing to tell him that right now in front of the world that you are ready to, I know you were ready to do that before, that you're ready to do it again in front of the press this time?
Absolutely. Anytime, any place. And we want to make sure that it's fully transparent. So we should absolutely do it in public so we can air out our positions. And they're hiding because they know their positions are indefensible. This is a Trump Republican shutdown. And it's part of what we've seen from them in terms of unleashing extremism from the very beginning of this presidency. This may be day 2 of the Trump shutdown. It's, I think, day 256 of the chaos that Donald Trump has unleashed on the American people.
So in response to that clip of J.D. Vance that I just played, so there's no ambiguity out there, Democratic leader Jeffries is saying to Donald Trump, to Senator Thune, to J.D. Vance, show up at the Capitol building today or tomorrow. We're going to do this in front of the press, and let's address these issues in front of the American people like the American people want to hear. I guess we'll have to wait for their response, Leader Jeffries, but that's your position right now, correct?
That's my position. And we'll even let Mike Johnson into the meeting as well.
MAGA Mike Johnson, you're invited to the meeting as well. All right.
Yeah, good. Wouldn't that make great television? Let each side come in with their position and show the American people exactly who is responsible for this government shutdown that is going to affect millions and millions of Americans, specifically you and I. Now, Jeffries also goes on and explains the origin of the insane lie. It's the insane lie that it is the Democrats who want to fund health care for illegal immigrants that causing the shutdown. Again, it's a lie. Play the clip.
You know what's interesting in that Oval Office meeting? It was the meeting lasted for over an hour. And the amount of time that we spent literally in talking about the issue of health insurance for undocumented immigrants was less than 10 seconds. You know why? Because they know it's a lie. So they didn't even bother to bring it up because the cameras weren't rolling. But they'll go out to their press conferences without us, where we're not able to fact check them in real time. And they'll continue to try to spout that lie. But the American people aren't buying it. They know this fight is about Medicaid. It's about their hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health clinics. It's certainly about the Affordable Care Act.
Wait. So you finally get yourself into the Oval Office. And you're finally sitting with the President of the United States trying to put forth your position so as to stop this government shutdown. And the topic that you went there to talk about, you spent less than 60 seconds. Is that really effective leadership as well? Why not then turn around and say, listen, we're not here to buy your 2028 merchandise. We're not here for a free Diet Coke. We're not here for laughs and for this political bullshit. All right. We are here to stop this government shutdown so that millions and millions of Americans don't end up bleeding out. Plain and simple. And if in fact that you can have that conversation, you pick your ass up, you walk outside, you go speak to the media, and you say, we're wasting our time. We go there to speak to the president. How about act responsibly? Act like you work for the American people. You don't work for yourself. I mean, going on television shows and talking about, all these problems, go in front of all the cameras and speak about it, because it's the only way that you're going to wake Americans up. Now, this morning, MAGA Mike Johnson, what does he do? I mean, this guy's fucking unbelievable. He just goes right back on TV, spreading the illegal immigrant healthcare lie. But the news hosts, telling you right off the bat here, many of these news hosts are getting sick and tired of it, as they should. Play the clip.
They want to give taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens again. We cut all that out because it doesn't follow our law and it doesn't follow common sense.
Mr. Speaker,
and no, it is. Look at page 57, section 2141 of the bill that Chuck Schumer filed.
I had a hankering feeling you were going to bring that up, and I actually did look at it, and we can't get into it obviously here on the show. But that last statement was a bit misleading. This idea that they want.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Mr. Speaker,
no, they want to cut out. They want to repeal and reverse the reforms that we made, and that would add $200 billion taxpayer funds to illegal aliens. Go to my website, speaker.gov. You can see it for yourself.
Yeah. Again, they're just going to keep over-talking one another while he's going to keep turning around and telling you it's not true, it's not true, it's not true. But here's the facts. It's not true. And yesterday, Mike Johnson, again, tries to claim that insurance subsidies don't expire until the end of December. Okay, listen, it's such bullshit. So if in fact that's true, if in fact what MAGA Mike Johnson is telling you, that the subsidies don't expire until the end of December, well, then why the hell are people getting notified today that their premiums are about to go up? Play the clip.
Conservatives are very concerned about the subsidies. Not only that, but they're subsidizing not American citizens, they're subsidizing insurance companies with that, which has driven premiums up. It's got lots of problems, okay? I was in the Oval Office with the president, with Leader Thune, Leader Jeffries, and Leader Schumer a few days ago. And Leader Thune rightfully said to Chuck Schumer, that is a red herring in this, and you all know it. That is the subsidies that you're referring to don't expire until December 31st. We're at the end of September. You're trying to take a December policy issue and insert it into this discussion about whether we're going to keep government operating for the people. That is a ploy. They've done that simply so that they can show a fight against Trump and Republicans. Let me tell you what that is all about. There'll be lots of thoughtful discussion, deliberation, and debate about that, because there's lots of opinions and it needs major reform. Leader Thune told Leader Schumer very clearly in front of the president, before that's even considered, you have to take on real reforms to address those issues. And they demonstrated right there in front of the president. He saw it for himself. That's not a simple issue. That's going to take weeks to deliberate and discuss and debate. But that's the beauty of the process. We have 3 months to do that. That is not an issue for today. The only issue is whether they're going to vote to keep the government operating for the people. Clear, plain and simple. Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker?
Again, watch your premiums and note that they are going up at a minimum of 25%. In fact, I showed the other day on a clip, it goes from $300 in some cases to $900. Well, how does the person then who's making $60,000 a year afford health coverage? Sadly, they don't. Now, Bernie Sanders goes on and speaks with Chris Hayes about the healthcare premium issue. Listen to what Bernie has to say. Play the clip.
Our job is to make it very difficult for Republicans to go back to their districts and explain to their constituents why their premiums, which are today unaffordable, are going to double. And let me be very clear. I am not a great fan of the Affordable Care Act. I believe in Medicare for all. I think that health care is a human right. But I will be damned if I'm going to see people in Vermont and around this country see a doubling in their premiums when people today can't afford housing, they can't afford health care, they can't afford child care. We can't allow that to happen.
Great. So what are you going to do about it? Go on Chris Hayes and talk about you'll be damned? Sure. Watch what happens in the next couple of days. Some have already received it. So you could be damned all you want. Now it's time to do something. What that is, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe stalk a whole bunch of the Republicans with a copy of the bill that one of your constituents is getting, raising it not by 25%, 50%, but even more. Now, Sanders also spoke about the blatant targeting of Democratic states. Play that clip.
We are living in an unprecedentedly dangerous moment, maybe the worst crisis in America literally since the Civil War. You have a president who is acting unconstitutionally and illegally. Guess what? These projects have been appropriated.
Yes.
They were signed by a president. It is illegal to rescind them. And then basically to say to people in Vermont, in New York, in California, oh, you didn't vote for Donald Trump? Well, we're going to take away funding that was supposed to go to your state. Illegal, outrageous, unconstitutional.
Look, let me be clear. They could say whatever they want. It is illegal. So again, do something about it. Now, Ben, again, my co-host of Political Beatdown, he also spoke with Representative Robert Garcia. He gets great interviews, by the way, so make sure that you check those out. But Ben speaks with Representative Robert Garcia, and he made a really good point about the $17 trillion. Again, Trump's $17 trillion claim on the tariff shelf that Trump is regularly talking about, that there exists somewhere, and maybe it's got to be twice the size of Fort Knox, that there is a shelf that contains $17 trillion. Play the clip.
This is, I think, a serious oversight issue. $17 trillion is apparently missing right now, and we're in a government shutdown. Trump keeps saying he's got $17 trillion. Where did it go?
Who the hell knows? I mean, first of all, Donald Trump is living in a fantasy land. And if there is $17 trillion somewhere, the government doesn't know about it. No, none of our committees have access to it. Treasury has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And so you're absolutely right. We're in a government shutdown right now. Donald Trump could actually reopen the government back up, extend healthcare subsidies, fix America's public schools, provide some subsidies to actually lower the cost of goods across this country. But we know that Donald Trump is a liar. He's either a liar or he stashed away some money somewhere in some magical way, and there's even more corruption happening. And so, look, the media needs to also get on the game here. If Donald Trump is claiming that there's $17 trillion somewhere, why isn't he being asked the question of where that money is every single minute of the day? And so,
that's what I ask all the time. You say that the $17 trillion, just show us the bank account. Show us where that money actually is. Now, finally, look, I want to end on a clip of Texas State Representative James Tallarico, rising star. If MAGA won't listen to facts, which they will not, maybe, just maybe, they will listen to religious ideology. Play that clip.
You know that in addition to being a lawmaker, I'm also a seminarian. And if you read the New Testament, Jesus doesn't spend most of his time preaching or teaching or even praying. He spends most of his time healing the sick. Right now, we have politicians in Congress with Christ follower in their Twitter bio, but they are kicking the sick off their health care. We, as lawmakers, especially those of us who proclaim a devout faith, have a special obligation to heal people, not make them sicker.
Yeah. By the way, so go back to your religious ideology if that's what you want to stand by. Whatever it is that they stand by, we must get through to MAGA. We must get through to all of these people, whether it's going to be their increased premiums or whether it's going to be just the ongoing continuous lies about the $17 trillion. We must continue to fight. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.